The meeting to order of the Newburyport Zoning Board of Appeals for Tuesday, February 24th. I'm Ken Swanton, the vice chair, acting tonight as chair because Rob is not with us. First, we'll start out by taking the roll. So just please indicate whether here or present. Mr. Delisle,
Here.
Mr. Benick,
Here.
Mr. Eigerman,
Here.
Mr. Junta,
Present.
and I guess Mr. Harding is not sworn in, so I guess when you're not part of the roll, Andy, is he part of the roll here?
No, not part of the role. Just worth noting that a forthcoming member is here to just participate in the board's discussion, but can't deliberate or act in any capacity as a board member at the moment.
All right. Well, you can be part of the roll next meeting. Something to look forward to, John. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thanks.
All right. The first public hearing tonight is 29 Oakland Street. And just to give a little bit of the lay of the land here, what we will do is we will hear first from the applicant. First, I will actually read what it's about. It's a special permit for nonconformities to replace an existing nonconforming one-story portion of a two-story addition at the rear of a house. This house is on 29 Oakland. A new front dormer that would continue an existing nonconforming front yard setback and a partial roof line change on a one-story bump out that would continue an existing non-conforming side yard setback. So anyway, that's the request for special permit. So we'll first hear from the applicant after they have a chance to present it. Then we will open it to anybody from the public who would like to make a comment or ask a question. And then we'll go to questions from the board. And then we'll deliberate as a board. And it requires 4 out of 5 people to succeed. And the people who are voting tonight are myself, Mr. Delisle, Mr. Benick, Mr. Argument, and Mr. Junta. So with that, is Javon Allen here? Allie?
Javon Alley. Yes, I am, sir.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
You have the floor.
Thank you very much. I am Javon Alley with Joppa Design here in Newburyport at 35 High Street. Also in attendance are the homeowners, Allison McGrath and Brian Doherty, in case questions come up that they can address. And I would like to thank you for having us tonight. This special permit for nonconformities, as you mentioned, the nonconformities include a lot area, which the required is 10,000 square feet. The property has just over 5,730 square feet. The frontage that is required is 90 feet. The property has 51.2. Front setback, the required is 25 feet, and the property has 5.5 feet. And the side setback, that would be the northwest property setback at the corner of the house, is only 7.8 feet. Excuse me. The required is 10 feet. All remaining dimensional controls meet the requirements and would be either unchanged or actually improving with the proposed design, including open space, lot coverage, and the side yard setback at the southwest corner of the house. As you mentioned, the proposed includes removing an existing one-story, 3-season porch and a covered deck at the rear of the house, as indicated on the certified site survey there, and replacing it with a 2-story addition that would actually fit in a smaller footprint. Also replacing a narrow shed roof dormer at the front of the house with a larger, wider shed roof dormer, and replacing the hip roof at an existing 1-story bump out on the west side of the house with a shed roof. We were heard by the Historic Commission on February 12th, and they voted to release for demolition as indicated, contingent on the removal of a proposed skylight at the front dormer, which has been updated in the application and is indicated on the drawings tonight on sheet A2 that we'll see. As indicated in the application, the proposed would create no new nonconformities with all the new construction within the required setbacks. We hope that you will agree with us and the neighbors that submitted letters of support that the proposed would not only not be substantially detrimental to the neighborhood as required by section 9B 2A, but that would also be an improvement to both the neighborhood and the property itself. Thank you. And then just to walk you through what I have here tonight is we have the site survey from the engineer. And then Caitlin, if we could go through the next page, is context photos. The bottom middle photo is the house on the property. And then the other photos around it are the houses on that same side of the street on either side. If we could go to the next one, Caitlin. These are photos of the existing property looking at the front of the house, showing that small shed roof dormer that we would propose to widen. If we could go to the next, please. This is the at the top showing the back of the house. That is the one-story sunroom addition that we're proposing removing. And then the bottom picture is showing the one-story bump out that currently has a hip roof, excuse me. And we would like to, we would propose that it would go to a shed roof to be more in keeping with the rest of the character of the house. Next, please. And then these are some additional photos of that one-story sunroom and covered deck area that we're proposing to remove. And next, please. And then this was just the zoning matrix, if you have any questions on that. And then the architectural. So this is the footprints showing the areas to remain and the changes in the area of the floor plan. And with the accommodations of we're actually removing a larger square footage on the first floor than we're replacing. And so with that, there's only a small gain in square footage space because of between the amount of square footage that we're removing on the first floor and then also unusable eave space that's currently on the second floor. Most of the gain on the square footage is on the second floor. Next, please. And then these are the proposed and existing elevations on the top showing the existing conditions of the front elevation and the east side of the house. And then the last sheet, next please, showing the rear elevation and the west elevation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Certainly.
Now we open it up for any comments anybody would like to make from the public. And a little card here says you're limited to 2 minutes, but we don't exactly have a large crowd. If anybody would like to chime in here and say anything, ask a question, make a comment, speak in support, speak against, say whatever you want, please raise your hand. Push the little raise your hand button on your Zoom panel there, and we will recognize you. I don't see anyone. Caitlin, do you?
No, I don't. Not this time.
All right. We'll close the public comment period, and now we'll go to questions from the board. Who would like to begin?
Well, I just want to clarify. So on this drawing that's on the screen now, the skylight is on the top left. Is that right? Show me what you were saying about the skylight.
Yes. So the original submission, the drawing on the bottom left, the proposed, showed a skylight in the middle of the dormer that would have allowed us to have natural light into the stairway. The Historic Commission requested that we remove that. So I just updated the elevation to show it removed and made a note that that drawing's been updated.
Got it. Thank you.
Certainly.
I had a question.
Go ahead.
What are your materials on the outside exterior of the building?
It's currently shingle and would be continuing with shingle.
Not the same shingle though, right?
I'm sorry?
Is it the same shingle or they'll be replaced? I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it looks like we're the hope would be that that some elevations were in good condition, but it needs to be determined in the field. That hadn't been done yet. The picture in the top there that you're looking at, that building on the right is actually a barn, a detached barn, not the house, in case that's a question. The house
And is it-
currently has painted shingles.
Yeah, is it going to be cedar shingle like it is now, or is
Yes.
it? Oh, okay. All right. Very good. Thank you.
Yes.
I have a question, if now is the right time. Caitlin, could you go back one page? On the top image there, it looks like there's a metal chimney, maybe for a wood stove.
Yes.
Is that being demolished? It's not in the drawings, so I was just wondering if that's being demolished or
That's
remains.
being removed. It's not used by the owners currently.
Got it. Thank you.
Greg, did you have a question?
I don't have any questions, Ken. Thank you.
Okay. Larry? Oh, okay. All right. Are there no other questions from the board? I don't have any in particular on this one. So we will move to deliberations. And here, remember, this is a special permit. It has a two-part criteria. And somebody please, when you indicate if you're for or against this, how it fits or doesn't fit the two-part criteria. Who would like to begin?
I'll start. As Ken indicated, we follow our two-part analysis for this request for relief. First question is whether or not there are any new nonconformities. There is not here. Second question, of course, is whether or not the intensification of the nonconformity requested here is consistent with the lot and with the neighborhood in terms of size, scale, and massing. I find, based upon the presentation, that is the case here. I would also note the letters of support from the neighbors. So for those reasons, I can and would support this request for a special permit for nonconformities.
Thank you, Greg. Who would like to speak next?
I'll go next. Yeah, I concur with Greg. I guess the only question really is for Steve Delisle and the other board, if you want to, if the materials are part of the decision. That's it.
I was fine with her response regarding the materials, so I have no problems with this application. I think it meets the two-part test, and I can fully support it. Thank
No,
you.
do you want to require the shingle, or does it not matter?
Well, I mean, it is shown on the plan as looking like a shingle, and I think she said into the record that it was going to be cedar shake, so we can put that into the decision. Sure.
Larry?
I agree with the other guys. I believe it does pass our two-prong test. So I would support this application.
I'd like to ask the applicant, do you mind if we put the cedar shake into the into our motion to approve?
I was just gonna, I raised my hand. I didn't know if that was appropriate or not. I was just gonna add that the Historic Commission actually requested that as part of their approval. So I don't know if that plays a role as to whether the ZBA needs to add it as well.
I think we do, because their demo delay only
Okay.
burns off after a year anyway. So
Understood.
yeah, so I think for clarity's sake, we should, if we want it, we should put it in. Well, I would make the motion then, Ken, if you're entertaining motions.
Yeah, and don't forget the sidewalk.
Oh, is there, I'm sorry, in the staff report, what is the recommendation?
Caitlin?
Hi there. So we did check in with DPS, as the zoning administrator had flagged this as a substantial rehab, and DPS is going to require new sidewalk.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Certainly. So the homeowners have apparently in the last few years it's a concrete sidewalk. They've replaced a couple portions, a couple panels of it already. Would it just be replacing the sidewalk as needed to bring it up to ADA specifications, or would it be replacing in whole?
Caitlin, do you want me to comment on that?
So I'm
Yes.
just looking at so DPS said, looking for replacement of sidewalk along the frontage of the subject property, in concrete panels to ADA specifications.
Yeah, if I could just, Andy Port, Director of Planning, just typically how DPS, I don't want to speak for them directly, but typically how that would be handled is just as you noted, that if any panels are in good condition as they are, they're not creating any issues themselves.
Yeah.
It would only be the panels that have issues with them that be replaced. So that could be coordinated with them by meeting in the field just to confirm those details.
Terrific. Thank you.
All right, well, with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve the application on two conditions. First, that there be cedar shake siding as indicated on the drawings. And two, that there'll be replacement as necessary of concrete panels in the adjacent sidewalk, subject to DPS review and approval.
Is there a second?
Second,
Okay, Mr. Junta has seconded. We'll now go around the room here. Mr. Delisle,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Argman,
Yes.
Mr. Junta,
yes.
and I vote yes. That is unanimous. It is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you for your succinct presentation.
Certainly. Have a good night.
All right, that gets us to 10 Christopher Street, where they were here before. They're back. At last time around, they were looking for a special permit for nonconformities to construct a mudroom addition in an area of an existing side deck. Structure to be 10 by 15 will extend 5 feet past the existing rear wall of the house, but there was also a variance to construct a single-story mudroom addition with an 8.7-foot setback where 10 was required. And they, as you may recall, they asked to come back this time to see if they might adjust their plan. And at this point, Kyle Harrison, are you here? If you are, you have the floor.
I am. Thank you. I appreciate you guys for having me tonight. So yeah, we went back to the drawing board with the clients and we were able to adjust accordingly without altering the square footage of the room. We're going to maintain that 150 square footage, but we eliminated the request for variance on the side setback. So you can see now in our updated proposal that our side setback will be 10.12 feet. We did maintain the nonconformity in the rear as we had before, where you'll see that we are seeking 13.6, where the existing on the roof structure was 18.6 and required, of course, is 25. So the main alteration that we made in this revision to grab them the storage space that they're really looking for in this project that we kind of discussed in our last meeting was that we extended that rear wall to 12.75 feet and bumped around that back corner a little bit to add an extra closet in there without breaching that side setback. So Caitlin, if you want to go to just a floor plan, we can take a look at that. That just to show so where it goes in, it'll go straight into the kitchen, and then like you said, it just bumps around that rear wall. We tried to maintain the rear stairs as best possible that we had designed before, with the slight alteration to accommodate that extension of that back wall. The front, if we go to that front elevation, so the front, we were able to keep with the door and the window almost identical to the way it was before. So it will still look the way that we had presented in the past. We narrowed it down a little bit to meet that criteria. So now we'll be 9 foot 4.5 inches off that left side wall of the house. And then if we go to the next slide, you'll see that we maintain that 15 feet. And if we look at the rear, That's where you'll see we just kind of leg around that back wall to gain that extra storage space. Still trying to stay condensed on the back side where the stairs come down to maintain that backyard space as well as possible. If you remember, this is replacing where a pretty large deck was before that ran along the property lines, all the way to the rear fence line and all the way to that side setback line, that was low, that we removed as it was failing. And now this is what's going to go in its place. And then we'll have a patio down below, just some flat work to kind of give them the living space that they had before without having an actual structure on the property. So we're just kind of going through the pictures here so you can get an idea from the rendering what this is going to look like under this new design. So like I said, we did our best to keep the design the same as it was before. And I think we did a pretty good job at that. And we also were able to maintain that square footage while staying within those legal parameters. So that's all I have. I appreciate you for hearing this and open for questions.
Hey, Kyle, thank you very much.
course.
So now we throw it open for public comment. There's not many people in the public, but if somebody would like to make a comment, push the raise my hand button. Seeing none, we'll go to questions from the board. Who would like to begin?
I can start. Kyle, just out of curiosity, there's no handrails shown on any of the stairs and deck. Is that just omitted for clarity, or is there actually intention for handrails?
Yeah, great question. That was just omitted for clarity. It wasn't the focal point of what we were designing here. The rear railings will be black aluminum railings, so it'll be code compliant all the way through. And then the front is low. We don't intend to have any railing on the front side per request of the client.
Anybody else?
Are you going to do anything on the front to screen below the decking?
So we do plan to put skirting around the exposed area where you'd see those columns. I put that for the building department to see our plan to structure it. But yes, when we finish it, it will have the intention with the client is to have the vertical PVC slatting and then some insect screen there to prevent critters.
Anything else, John?
I guess just the last question on the back stair.
Yep.
What is the intent behind kind of the jogging around the building versus just continuing that stair straight down? Seems like you end up in the same spot.
So that was a decision that was made. My very first design was to have it come straight down. This was to eliminate having too much dead space on the side. It seemed more practical to our client to have it wrap around and then the stairs empty straight out into that patio area without coming past that rear line, because we're trying to keep it as condensed as possible. That's why it's so narrow. Mm-hmm. So it just gives us the ability to kind of spin them around and have them enter straight out into it versus coming off the side of it, because we didn't want to come too far out behind the house.
Okay. That's okay.
Okay. Thank you, John. Who else would like to ask questions? There are no questions. We'll go to deliberations. Going once, going twice. Okay. We're deliberating, I guess the way it works now, there's really not a variance request anymore because there's not so I guess we're correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, but we're just deliberating on the special permit, right? And the variance would be what, withdrawn or something?
Yeah, I think it makes sense just to note for the record if there's a withdrawal of a permit from the applicant, the board noting that accepting withdrawal without prejudice, generally speaking, defer to the board, and then also then acting on the remaining permit.
So we need a motion on both of those things?
Correct. Yeah, you could break them off separately if there's any desire to do so.
Okay, so who would like to start our deliberations?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. I think last meeting I indicated with the previous design that I thought the previous design was suitable for a special permit, that it didn't create, but for the variance request, right? It wasn't going to create a new nonconformity. That variance request has been obviated by the tucking of the side. So now there is certainly no new nonconformity. And last time we also spoke about the massing and the scale and those factors, and I had determined my analysis was that there was no problem there. So I'm okay with this with respect to a special permit for nonconformities.
Thank you. Who else would like to comment?
I'll go next. I support this application now that it's been revised. And I want to say that I appreciate the drawings that came along this week. I was a little worried about the drawings we were looking at 2 weeks ago and made comment on them. And these are definitely a better set of drawings, have a better feel of what this property will look like once the work's done.
Thank you. Who's next?
Yeah, I agree with my colleagues. I don't think this is substantially more detrimental than the existing non-conforming structure, and I support the special permit. I'll make a different motion on the withdrawal of variance.
Okay, well, I guess we'll do this one at a time. So, Greg, would you like to comment?
I agree with my colleagues, and I'm prepared to approve this request for special exception and withdrawal of the request for variance.
Okay, and I too agree and thank the applicant for listening very well last time and coming back with a really good solution. And if anybody here wants to frame both motions for one vote, that's fine too. So whoever would like to frame away, go ahead.
Okay, I'll do that in the interest of time. So I move that the board approve the special permit for nonconformity as consistent with our typical findings under section 9B, and also that the board grant permission, even though the variance was already publicly noticed, to accept the withdrawal of that application without prejudice.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Greg. All right. Now we vote. Mr. Delisle,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Eigerman,
Yes.
Mr. Junta,
Yes.
and I vote yes. It is unanimous. Thank you very much, Kyle.
Thank you very much.
All right. That gets us to our third and final hearing for 568 Merrimack Street. It's another special permit for nonconformities. This one is to demolish an existing nonconforming single-family structure and reconstruct a new single-family structure that adds greater than 500 square feet on a nonconforming lot and extends an existing nonconforming side lot setback. Is Brandon Monaco?
I am here, sir.
You have the floor.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time this evening. Hopefully we can get through this one as smooth as the last two, but this one's a little bit bigger, so we'll have our work cut out for us here. So, not sure if you guys I'm sure had a chance to look at the proposed. Obviously, we are the owners of the property as well as the developers of the property, looking for this special permit for nonconformities. The existing structure, as it stands, again, is a single family being pulled down to the existing foundation and reconstructed as well as a single family dwelling. The existing foundation will remain in place. The rear addition will be put in a new foundation. But in regards to the current non-conformities, we can go through those. Caitlin, if you want to jump to, we'll cruise through a little bit. So right now, it really is a non-conforming lot across the board from frontage to from frontage to side setbacks to lot area. So the lot itself is roughly 12,500 square feet, required 20,000 square feet. So I'll go through some of those specifics when we get down a little bit further. The next slide just kind of shows where this lot sits, as well as some of the properties next to it from a lot size perspective, houses and where they're sitting from a setback perspective as well. I'm sure you're aware of the large project that will be going on next door and some of the work that'll be done there. But this was just to give you reference as to size of lot compared to neighboring lots, as well as where the house currently sits on the property versus neighboring homes. As you can see, many of the neighboring homes are in similar setback to the current existing structure of 568 Merrimack Street. We can go to the next slide. So here you'll see the proposed plot plan. You'll see the current foundation is sitting in white there with kind of the hash marks around it. And then you'll see the new proposed addition structure in the tan coloring there, as well as a proposed garage. So we are replacing there is an existing like 3 Seasons porch on the back of the house. You can see that where that sits today and what the addition off the back of the house would look like in comparison to that. We did pull that off the property line a little bit as well. So not creating any new non-conformities with our project here either. Next, if you could. So this is just kind of give you the rundown of what we're looking at 568. Obviously, sitting in the R1, the lot size requirement is larger, setbacks are larger, things of that nature than you will see in R2. So front backs require 30 feet. We're at 21.5. We'll keep it at 21.5. Side setbacks 20. They're both respectively at 12 feet and 9.5 feet. Those will remain the same. The rear setback requirement, obviously 30 feet. Currently sits at 135. We'll be at 126. So not making anything, creating any new nonconformities there. As it relates to the maximum lot coverage, we are well under the city requirement there, as well as the height at 30 feet. We're sitting at just over 29.1 inch. And then minimum open space, again, well within the requirement there. We have 68.5% open space versus the required 50% open space. So as it relates to the structure, this is what you'll see from the front of the existing elevation. And then I just showed you each elevation of the existing property as we slide through here. So, just a similar front, left and right side set elevations, and then the rear elevation where you can see that sunroom that will be replaced with the addition off the back. Heading into the proposed plan, our goal when we designed the structure was to try to bring in some of the traditional models of homes you see on whether it be High Street or here on Merrimack Street, but then bring some, modern components to it. Obviously try to increase the size of the home so it's something that's desirable for the modern family that's moving into Newburyport and living in the community. But obviously did not want to worsen any of the existing non-conformities. So our goal was, and is to use the existing foundation, as I mentioned prior. Our height, again, does fit in with the neighborhood homes. We have some pictures we can show you after, but we can slide through these pictures here. Looking at the left side elevation of the house, and then I'll show you the right side elevation of the house. And so that's where the driver will come down this side and heading into that single car garage in the back, and then we have the rear of the house. We really tried to capitalize on the fact that this is a beautiful piece of property overlooking the river. Obviously, not knowing what's going to exactly happen next door with all the structures, we wanted to make sure that we had beautiful river views from everywhere at the house while maintaining the height requirements as well. That's obviously required by the city. Um, and then the garage, we did make a minor adjustment today, working with Caitlin. The garage will be 24 feet long, and it will fit in that. The the controls or the regulations for being able to be 6 feet from the property line. We did pull it 6.5 feet from the side yard, just to make sure we're maintaining and meeting those requirements. We do have letters of support from the three abutters closest to us on our side of the street. We sat down, had a conversation with them, explained to them what we're doing, how we're doing it, talked to them about the time of day we'll be working and things of that nature, and we did get their approvals here. And then just showing a few of the houses that were listed in the abutters list when the letters went out, just from a height perspective. These are not, I wouldn't say exactly to scale. We just try to scale a door or a window or something and pull it in that nature. So we're not measuring people's properties, but many of these houses are showing three-story units directly in eyesight to where we're sitting. So as we were designing this property, looking at the neighborhood, it actually feels as though the house that we're building fits in more with the neighborhood and is less detrimental to the neighborhood than the current house, from just the way of the flow of the local the houses in the neighborhood. And then it relates to the tree work. There was just no requests or recommendations from there. There's nothing we're touching from trees, and we will work with the DPS to redo and fix the sidewalks as requested and by them.
Great. Thank you, Brendan. So that gets us to public comment. We don't have a lot of public. Is there anybody here who would like to make a comment? Seeing none, we will go to questions from the board. Who on the board would like to begin the questions on this application?
I can start.
Thank you.
Well, first, I just wanted to reconcile the rendering. You have an oblique rendering. I don't know if you have that. Put it up on the screen of what the building's going to look like. Not the elevation, but a rendering.
It's slide 2.
Yeah, that I just wanted to reconcile that with the side elevations. I was a little confused by how they came out. So you can see, so keep this in your mind and then skip to the left and right elevations. Yeah, either one. Yeah, you see how there's a white space at the front and no clapboarding. I'm just confused.
That's the back. The way it's spun on the sheet, that's the back. So you're looking at the left side. I'm sorry, that actually should be the right side.
Oh, that's why I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. Okay.
Yeah. My apologies.
No, it's all right. I just threw me for a loop.
Yep. I can see
All right, so
why.
let me understand. Yeah, so go to the side elevation, understanding they're reversed. So that's actually, it's open, right? It's open to the
So those
elements.
those will be two basically covered porch structures there.
Okay, all right, now I got it.
Yep.
All right, that was the first question. The only other question I had was, it's not required in our table, but because it's a non-conforming structure, we have to look at massing and volume. And we have the height and the length and all that, but what's the gross floor areas now versus what it's going to be?
Great question. It's roughly just under 1,200 square feet currently, and it'll be roughly 3,700 square feet moving forward.
Okay. And then, was it a two-bedroom house now?
It is, you know, it's funny. I think it's actually a 3-bedroom currently.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
then it'll go to 5.
5 bedroom. How many bath?
3.5.
3.5 bath. Okay. All right, that's it. That's all I have for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Who's next?
Could you, Mr. Monaco, could you just reiterate what the height is of the current structure and what the proposed structure's height would be?
Yeah, the current structure is 14.1 feet and the proposed structure is 29.1.5.
Now, are those to the mean or to the ridge?
Those are to the mean.
Okay. And what are your materials on this, the windows and the siding, whatnot?
Yeah, I mean we've always done unless requested otherwise, you know, vinyl double hung windows. Siding is a composite of some nature. Traditionally, we've done hardy. Our goal was either hardy or LP siding, something that's a composite that can really withstand the weather that's going to come off that you know the river and the location. The back we were planning on trying to soften with some cedar shakes to give it some nice soft elements from the back.
Okay. Uh, and then do you have a landscape plan or anything like that with respect to what is because I see there's some proposed or there's some bushes that are shown on the proposed plot plan.
Yep.
And is all that stuff coming out and then you're just gonna
Yeah,
do
yeah, it would all have to come out. Well, we've always just kind of done a whole new, you know, we try to keep it very simple but very clean in regards to landscaping, especially in the front of the house. The back there will be a patio and, you know, just, you know, along the driveway, we may have to work on some retaining walls or whatnot just to make sure you know, the land kind of slides off there, but nothing that will really be visible from the street.
and there's no trees or anything on that property that you
No,
have to contend with.
nope.
Oh, interesting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I can go next. So on this here, is there going to be a new walkway to the front door?
We haven't decided whether it's going to come from the driveway or from the street, from the sidewalk as of yet. Um, So my intention would probably be to have it come from the sidewalk. But it was just depending on how things were going to grade out.
Okay. And then on the elevations, it seems like there's a lot of good intent on the front elevation with window sizes and alignments. The bottom right two just kind of barely don't line up with the ones above it. And then once you get around the sides, there's a lot of it's a little bit hectic. Love to see some more uniformity, especially how visible that I guess really both sides are, but it's a prominent house coming into the city. So if we can do something to create some alignment and some consistency in windows, it would be great to see that especially on this side.
I can work on it. I mean, one of the main reasons that happens is solely based on where those fall in the house, whether it's a bathroom or you know, a bedroom or whatnot.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's important, you know, and we didn't really talk about this before, but as an architect, I'm a licensed architect, and just trying to make sure that the outside and the inside speak to each other, and one doesn't fully dictate the other, especially at such a prominent house coming down Merrimack Street from the Rotary. It's just gonna be really visible. So I want to make sure that this
I mean,
side.
and that's fair. I think the house they're building next door is going to completely block it, but
Okay.
you're absolutely right. Yeah, the one right next to it is going to be pretty much right next to it, right on that lot, blocking most of it. But I can certainly look at it for sure.
Appreciate that.
Okay, next.
I have no questions, Ken.
Larry, do you have any?
Well, I was going to bring up the windows, but not so much the alignment, but the fact that there seems to be a lot of glass in the front and back, which is great, but the side, it seems like the windows are very small in comparison to the house. That's all. That just my view. It seems like they're awful small. But again, I don't know what's on the other side of the wall. If it's a bathroom, bedroom, I get that, but it just seems to me house this big, some of those windows look out of place because they're so small.
Okay, I guess that comes to me. I went by there today and I didn't realize you were right next to that Bartley's Landing, I guess they call it. That project never came in front of us, so I tried to do a little digging on it today, and I've seen quite a few visuals of it, and it's a big piece of land with four very expensive homes. Um, the homes tend to be longer and not as tall. They look like more like two-story homes than whereas yours is on a quite, yours is on a much smaller lot and it goes higher. And one of the things we have to consider here is massing. And particularly when you're only 9.5 feet from a property line, and you're at this, at the entry to the town. You mentioned these houses will be set, block you, but they have to comply with the setback. So they're going to be set back much further than this house. And I don't think it'll block it that much. So I guess what my question is, because this is a time for questions. My question is, rather than this picture here where you try to go up so high, did you ever think about trying to get your square footage by going a little further out the back and not having quite as much of a third floor? Or, that's my question.
I can say we thought about a lot of different things. It got to a point where we were trying to gain some of the more of the views of the river, knowing that houses were going to be built, potentially obstructing some of the view of the river. So like our first floor, we might get a little bit because there's going to be houses built down back closer to the water. So the third floor was kind of giving us a nice opportunity to gain unobstructed views of the river. So, I mean, we could go back. I mean, one of the other things that happens a lot when we're building is that the third floor ends up being, almost a full height to support all of the mechanicals as well. So we're trying not to, in the past houses we've done, there's a lot of wasted space on that third floor because you put the mechanicals up there and it's just the way that it's structured afterwards. So we did think about it. I liked the third floor as a sight line and as a visual from, honestly from the river with all the glass on the back. I thought it would look really nice. We just thought the height would being within the requirements and matching the houses and then, the ones we mentioned, the neighborhood, that it wasn't going to be detrimental compared to what you're seeing in other houses in the area.
Did you put the My Maps thing back up? I'm just trying to get a sense of who's in the neighborhood here. So the My Maps on the right, I see. So the land directly behind you is part of this new development.
Yeah, everything behind us and to the left. So there's going to be a house potentially kind of right down where you see the 7230, like right down that kind of on that existing property line.
Yeah, they can't put it in the water though, so
Right.
you'll get a view right down to that little cove.
Well, unfortunately, those are all their trees and they can't be touched. So those trees block all that. So honestly, our view is kind of off of the left-hand side of that, the green property line.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was my primary question was really had to do with the massing and the height. So I don't have any other questions. So with that, we'll close questioning, and unless anybody else has any other questions. So So we'll go to deliberations. And remember, this is a special permit, requires a two-part test. Who would like to begin?
I'll start. So I believe that it does pass, in my belief, it does pass the two-prong test. There are a lot of houses this large in that area when you go up and down that section of Merrimack Street. So this house is not going to look odd. I realize the massing and the volume is a lot more than what's there. But when you look at the depth of that neighborhood, I actually think that house would fit fine amongst the other large houses that go up and down that side of Merrimack Street. There are no new nonconformities, and I don't think that it's detrimental to the neighborhood. I actually think it fits in the neighborhood well, and I think the lot is large enough to hold it. And I get the idea he's near the water and he'd rather go up than out, so he can take a shot at seeing the water possibly. So my thoughts.
Thank you, Larry. Who would like to go next?
I agree with Mr. Genta. He identified the issues and concerns that I was ruminating on. It's a large house and it is 29 feet. However, there are, as the photos demonstrate that were submitted here, there are comparable homes in the neighborhood. This is an important location, and this entire stretch is becoming quite impressive residential area in the city. I think this fits nicely in that, and for those reasons, I'm prepared to approve it.
Thank you, Greg. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next. Yeah, I'm inclined to make the findings that it's not substantially more detrimental, but a couple explanations and caveats. One is we've had similar projects of ranch homes being replaced, but it was more of a concern, for example, on Erie Avenue, because Erie Avenue is really an inadequately designed street. It's very narrow. Whereas Merrimack Street, it passes for one of our major streets in Newburyport. It can, I think Larry said, this lot can handle a three-story building. I don't have a problem with a three-story building. And going from 1,200 square feet to 37, I mean, it's a tripling of size, but again, under the circumstances, you can pull it off here. I guess the caveat, the one thing I would like to, you're not going to want to hear it, but I would like to maybe get some more information before we vote, is the fenestration. I think that's a good point. I mean, to the shock of many of us, the sort of handsome Greek revival next to you on the left is going to be demolished, apparently. So I don't think I have enough, I want to make sure we get that left-hand side, the northwesterly facade right. And, riffing off what John said, I think we, and also Larry, maybe work on the fenestration a little bit, because this building's going to have more prominence than the existing one. So I'd like to see more of that. And another problem is, of course, I thought the other guys before my time had reviewed the project next door, but it looks like the project next door didn't come to the ZBA at all.
Right.
So I've never seen any drawings of that. And that's a problem. It's kind of like I don't really know, other than knowing that they're demolishing the nice building to your left and kind of changing the context. I don't really know enough right now to know what would fit. I think your building generally is fine. But I would like to get more information on this fenestration on the west. And I guess I need to get educated on what the hell is happening around you before I can vote.
Stephen?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I would agree that the west side is sort of a double-edged sword. In the sense that you've got nothing along the west side that we know of with the information that the Greek revival is going to be demolished. Um, so that helps you because ordinarily I would have misgivings with a three-story building that close to the property line. But here we know that I think, as Mr. Swanton pointed out at one point, that the setback of any new building will be further back than where you are now. So that leaves you very much exposed to all the traffic coming into the city. So I would agree with Mr. Eigerman that we need more information with respect to how that's going to look and how that's all going to work together. So I'm inclined to see some additional drawings before we move forward as well.
Right, and as the fifth voting member, my comments are, I'm not crazy about the size of the building, but I think my colleagues have pointed out that it is not unusual for the neighborhood. So that's fine. But I do think I also concur with the thought that this is so visible as you come into the city, um, that particularly the west elevation, that several of my colleagues pointed out as not being optimal. Normally, we don't get involved in architectural issues, but when you're asking for a major improvement in massing, I think it's only fair for us to bring things up. So I agree with my colleagues who have expressed some desire to see an improvement on that left side. I also think it'd be nice on the materials if you would be a little more specific about using LP or hardy board, and eliminating vinyl, for example. I don't care whether you use LP or natural.
I can promise you will not be vinyl.
Yeah. All right. So but
No way.
anyway. So in addition to that wall on the west side, I'm glad you also indicated the material issue. So I think several of us have indicated an issue with that. I think if we take a vote and it goes down, you're out for a couple of years here. So I think usually what we do is we give the applicant a chance to come back to the next meeting or the one thereafter, or when you're ready, to show how you might address the issues that have come up.
That sounds like my option then.
So the question would be, how much time do you need? We have a meeting, we meet the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month.
I would love to come back to the next meeting. I'll have this updated by then.
And I looked at it, Caitlin. I think we have some room there, right?
Yes, we do. We have room, and the next meeting is March 10th.
March 10th. So, okay. So, the other issue hasn't come up, but I guess you mentioned it, that you deal with the sidewalk as well. So,
Yep. So just for clarity's sake, we want to address just consistency with windows. I'm looking at the floor plans now and just trying to figure out what we can do to try to create some consistencies. I don't have them in there, but yeah, this side here, there's a couple of bathrooms in there and things of that nature. So we'll do our best with what we have and try to create some more conformity there and from sizing and line and layout so that it meets what you guys are looking for.
great. And am I right, my colleagues, that it's the west side that we're mostly concerned about here?
It appears so.
Okay.
Can I just a point of order, and maybe this is a question more for me than anybody else. The fact that he may or may not have a dwelling built next to his home, that should not have impact on us. We don't know what's going to happen next door, but we certainly have the ability to ask for the architecture to look better on First Street View when he's going from 1,200 square feet to 3,700 feet. I do agree with that. But I just was a little concerned about that thought process of what may or may not be built next to him.
Well, I raised that, Larry. I mean, I think I do think it's relevant for, context of the neighborhood because the context's changing. That's all. I mean, it's not determinative necessarily. As I said, that I don't see a problem with 5-bedroom house here, but it's just difficult because the materials we have, we're looking at the streetscape and trying to see how it's going to fit in with the streetscape, but the building to the left that's been there for 170 years isn't going to be there anymore.
It's already not there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
all the structures on that property are already have
They
already
already,
been
they
down.
already raised everything.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's all. I'm just trying to, and that's not on the developer. That's on the staff. I mean, I'm just asking if Caitlin could please let me know what's going on next door. I just don't know.
Right.
We can
And I'm-
certainly provide the file, although I'm not sure the architecture. Andy, do you have an update on this? The architecture that went to the planning board, is that staying as is or is that shifting? We don't know yet.
I don't believe it's shifting, but I think
Yeah.
that's all I can offer right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, even knowing where the sites are, because, we, the foundations are going to be. All right. That's enough. I said enough.
So Andy, could you send us a link to the to the planning board drawings and stuff so we can see? Because I looked online under Bartley's Landing and it's all over the web on different realtor sites with pictures and stuff and it looks like a real plan. But is this something the planning board you can give us access to?
Caitlin, do you mind? Is that something you could just forward the commission members?
Yeah, we
or
can
the
send
board members the
the
link?
file, what was approved by the planning board, certainly.
Thank you. All right. So at this point, we're looking for to approve a continuance. So would somebody like to make a motion to continue this to our March 10th meeting?
So
I'll
moved.
make the motion to continue 568 Merrimack Street to the meeting of was it March 10th?
Second.
All right. We'll go down the roll here. Mr. Delisle,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Eigenman,
Yes.
Mr. Junta,
yes.
and I vote yes. It is unanimous. So we'll see you on March 10th.
I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
All right, that concludes our 3 hearings. We have a short business meeting. We have 2 sets of minutes to be approved from January 27th and February 10th. Have people had a chance to review those? Are you ready to approve them?
Yeah, I sent my tweaks for the January 27th and I'm ready to approve those, and same thing with 210.
And the 27th, that was the one you made all the suggested tweaks on the Lunt Street one?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you for the very extensive
Yeah.
tweaking you did.
No problem.
All right. Do we have a motion? We can approve them both at once. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, just say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous. All right. Other updates from the chair or the planning director? Andy, do you have any updates?
Nothing is coming to mind immediately for this board. No, thank you.
Caitlin?
Nothing from me. Thank you.
And I have nothing. Does anybody have anything? Then we're looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, folks. 1 hour and 5 minutes.
All
Not
right.
bad.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
stuff.
Well
Thank you
done.
Good
very
meeting.
much.
Yes. Thank you all.
Good night,
Pleasant
everyone.
evening. Good night.
Good night.